Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, let's recap the week. The benchmark S&P 500 on Friday plunged to its worst weekly performance since early March last year, driven by concerns over economic growth after a slew of soft data during the week, especially on the labor market. That, coupled with historical September weakness, led to a gloomy atmosphere and heavy selling, according to Wall Street Breakfast. The hotly anticipated August jobs report was supposed to swing market expectations one way or the other on the size of the expected Fed Reserve interest rate cut later this month, but it ended up sparking a debate instead. The attention now turns to next Wednesday's Consumer Inflation Report, or CPI, for further clues. For the week, the S&P slumped 4.3%, while the Nasdaq cratered 5.8% and the blue chip Dow slipped 2.9%. Crude oil finished under 70 at 68.16, and gold finished at 25.2680, losing 16.30. GME has the hot hand right now. GameStop stock jumps after Roaring Kitty tweet. Shares of GameStop rose about 5% on Friday after meme stock leader Roaring Kitty posted on X for the first time since June. And then from Barron's, GameStop has a big week ahead. What earnings could mean for the stock? It's been a while since GameStop has caused a stir in the stock market. Now shares look like they are re-entering the spotlight thanks to a post by trader Keith Gill on Friday, as well as the video game retailer's coming earnings report. GME finished at $23.92, up 1.53 or 6.83% on Friday. 52-week low, $9.95. 52-week high, 64.83. 50-day moving average, 25.43. We're still under that. 200-day moving average, 18.31. We're above that. So for the week, Jimmy added 2.05%. For the month, up 12.31%. Admit it, guys, the calendar is on fire, and I've got some big items for you to add to your calendar. Monday, September 9th. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, wholesale inventories, followed by consumer credit at 3 p.m. But Tuesday, September 10th, GameStop will drop earnings after the bell. Maybe Ryan Cohen will finally tell us what he plans to do with that $4 billion he's sitting on. We know from recent posts that GameStop is on the hunt for top product and graphic designers. But Wednesday, September 11th, CPI. That's right. This week's CPI falls on 9/11. Thursday, September 12th, 8:30 a.m., initial jobless claims and PPI. Also, the Usher concert drops only at AMC theaters the 12th to the 15th. Now, Uncle Frank isn't superstitious, but Friday is Friday the 13th. Saturday, September 14th, I'm going to see the Canelo Alvarez versus Berlanga fight at an AMC theater. We are only 10 days to the second day of the September 17th and 18th Fed meeting, where we currently expect to get our first rate cut. But will it be a quarter point or a half? But that same week, Friday, September 20th, is the third quadruple witching date of the year. Friday, December 20th, will be the last one. September 30th marks the end of the third quarter, a vital quarter for AMC fans. While it hasn't been announced, I currently forecast AMC third Q 2024 earnings to be released around the week of November 4th. And I also believe it'll be better than last year's Q3, which was the best Q3 in our 100-plus year history. October 7th could mark the deadline for the SEC to file an appeal on the Ripple XRP case. October 22nd to the 24th is the BRICS Summit. Guys, there could be some huge and even shocking headlines coming out of that conference. We are only 59 days to the November 5th election. which will be immediately followed by the November 6th and 7th Fed meeting. December 17th and 18th will be the last FOMC meeting for the year. We are only 134 days from inaugurating a new president, January 20th, which means if Trump is elected, Gary Gensler is scheduled to be fired the following day. Now, stop telling me the firing of Gary Gensler is just a personal fantasy. Even the money donors on the left want him out. From Bloomberg, Kamala Harris donors privately urge firing of FTC's Khan and SEC's Gensler. The 35-year-old FTC chair has annoyed Wall Street dealmakers, and Gensler perceived by finance donors as talking down to them. Now, I can't exactly put this on the calendar, but I want you to know it may be coming this month. From Bloomberg, U.S. to propose bank capital rule revisions as soon as this month. From the article, the Fed Reserve and other regulators are poised to unveil sweeping changes to a slate of proposed capital rules for banks as they seek to overcome tough resistance from the industry, according to people familiar with the matter. The revisions, which may run up to 450 pages, may be unveiled as soon as September 19th. Okay, a day after the Fed meeting and possible rate cut, and would reshape key components of the U.S. bank capital regime known as Basel III Endgame, said the people who asked not to be identified as the plans may change. So this seems like a little cover your ass going on here by the Fed and our regulators, but something tells me this may get pushed until after the election. Okay, from the AMC side, from Variety, box office, Beetlejuice 2 makes $13 million in previews, but more importantly from the Wrap, Beetlejuice 2 scores $41.5 million opening day, eyes possible $100 million weekend. Warner Brothers has chance to earn second $100 million plus start ever in September, but theaters are dead. I still believe this could be a solid September, and that makes for a huge third quarter, and all this shit will count towards it. There's an enormous amount of collectibles connected to Beetlejuice. And as I said, the Usher concert film drops September 12th. I'm going to see the Canelo Alvarez fight on September 14th. Transformer 1 has an early access viewing on the 14th as well, and then will officially drop on the 20th. It all counts for Q3. The Deadpool, Wolverine, Twisters, Despicable Me 4, Inside Out 2, and Alien Romulus quarter. I want my subscribers to know that September may hold some other surprises that could affect our 3Q numbers. From Box Office Pro, with a release date of September 13th, we've got Speak No Evil and The Killer's Game. Opening weekend ranges 15 to 20 million, 4 to 8 million respectively. But then on the 20th, Transformers 1 and Never Let Go. 40 to 50 million and 7 to 10 million opening weekend ranges. And then on the 27th, The Wild Robot and Megalopolis, 25 to 30 million and 4 to 8 million opening weekend ranges. You know, we could have a sleeper in here. And beyond that, of course, is the Joker sequel. Long range forecast for October 4th. Domestic opening weekend range 115 to 145 million. I have an idiot in my chat making fun of my number one pick for 2025, Archer Aviation. Well, I was a buyer when the shorts and this powerful sell-off couldn't get the stock under 3 this past Friday, just like I was buying the last time they couldn't get her under 3. See the white arrow on the left, when it only took 32 days to hit 547. See the yellow arrow. My little $1 billion startup company has a $6 billion order book. So keep the smart-ass remarks coming. It'll make it that much funnier when this stock leaves you in the dust. Here's a tip. Don't make fun of people's stock picks on a week where the NASDAQ loses 6%. Not investment advice or advisor. So just for review, I have short interest on ACHR at 65.44 million shares, or 29.45% of the float. Let's just call that a 30% short. The short interest ratio stands at 5.42 days to cover. I have 23 insiders that own 110.17 million shares, or 34.49%. Let's just call that 35%. Now let's factor in 351 institutional investors that own 154.95 million shares, or 48.5%. Archer's explosive potential makes it the last stock on the New York I would want to short. But when I check the most shorted stocks on the exchange, Cinemark remains the 14th most shorted. Archer is now the 21st most shorted, and AMC has dropped to the 57th most shorted stock on the New York Stock Exchange. So what are they talking about on Reddit's sentiment and mention tracker over the past 24 hours after that hellish week? Well, in the first spot is Nvidia, then GameStop in second, Bitcoin in fourth. I see Palantir for Donahue George in eighth. Hey, Don, did you know that JP Morgan upgraded NEO? How about that? In the 12th spot, XRP, 87 mentions, up 78%, and AMC is down in the 29th spot at the time of this recording. From this past week from White and Case, DOJ and SEC bring enforcement actions against short sellers, highlighting continued prevalence of short selling against public companies. The US SEC and the US DOJ recently announced parallel actions against an activist short seller and his firm, charging them with multiple counts of securities fraud. The charges are the latest reminder of the prevalence of short sellers who seek to drive down the stock price of public companies by engaging in short and distort campaigns. In these campaigns, short sellers sell a public company stock short and then spread disparaging false rumors about the company, attempting to profit from the stock price decrease caused by their misinformation. Hey, can any of you guys name a stock that has had 3 million negative articles published against it? Are we going to investigate any of that? The DOJ indictment alleged that the activist short seller Andrew Left had engaged in a market manipulation scheme designed to impact the stock prices of companies that he targeted, and charged him with engaging in a securities fraud scheme. According to the DOJ, the short seller publicized sensationalized headlines encouraging readers to sell or buy the stock of a target company. The short seller then profited on the resulting stock price movement by reversing the trading positions of his firm, Citron Capital. In effect, the short seller closed out positions at prices different from the target prices that he publicly recommended. Andrew, if you'd have just donated more money to politicians, you wouldn't be having this trouble right now. Now, some of you AMC forensic investigators may find this interesting. From Reuters, exclusive. Hedge fund Davidson Kempner to close its Distressed Opportunities Fund, letter shows. Hedge fund Davidson Kempner will close one of its funds amid a tougher environment for hedge funds that buy into the debt of distressed companies, hoping to make money from their comeback. A letter sent to investors and seen by Reuters on Friday shows. What's that got to do with us? Let's go back to January of 2021. AMC Entertainment in talks with creditors about UK financing from the Wall Street Journal. Looking to once again raise capital, AMC is reportedly negotiating a potential financing deal with its largest creditors that is backed by its European assets. The theater chain is in talks with Apollo Global Management, Davidson Kempner Capital Management, and Ares Management Corp., the Wall Street Journal reported January 6th, citing people familiar with the matter. The deal would expand a line of credit available to Odeon Cinemas Group, an AMC subsidiary based in the UK. Another one bites the dust. By now, I'm sure you've noticed crypto has had a rough week too. At the time of this recording, Saturday afternoon, I've got Bitcoin at 54,171, down 8.23% over the past 7 days. Ethereum, 2277, losing 8.97%. Solana, 126.88, down 6.73%. And my favorite, XRP, 0.528, losing 6.66% over the past 7 days. In addition to the obvious sell-off, there are some interesting points to mention from the crypto space. Centralized cryptocurrency exchanges' monthly trading volumes in August increased 6.6% to 1.2 trillion. Crypto.com captured the largest share of trading volume on exchanges with clear dominance in North America. The number of Bitcoin wallets holding 100 Bitcoin or more has recently hit a 17-month high after a surge in holding over the past month. A net gain of 283 wallets holding at least 100 Bitcoin has emerged in just 1 month, according to Santiment. From the Bitcoinist, pro XRP lawyer raises odds to 60% for SEC appeal versus Ripple. Here's the bottom line for me. If they appeal, the coin could drop sharply, and I will buy that dip. If the SEC does not appeal, the coin may rise from there. It's that simple. My conviction hasn't changed on XRP. Now, this piece is from the Isn't It Ironic file and the London Financial Times. Citadel Securities leads fight over payments for market surveillance system. Market maker attacks brazen efforts by exchanges to recoup costs of the consolidated audit trail that tracks securities trading. Citadel is leading an industry pushback against an effort by exchanges, including the New York and NASDAQ, to ask traders to help foot the bill for a new market surveillance system that has already racked up almost $1 billion in costs. Now, I have an idea right here. We just fined Goldman Sachs $1 billion for all the spoofing they've done this year, and we'll call it even. The article continues. Brokers are calling for the regulator to suspend proposed new billing schedules that would force them to contribute to the costs of the CAT system or Consolidated Audit Trail, a real-time record of all activity across U.S. equities and options markets, which has been likened to the Hubble telescope for securities markets. Exchanges have so far footed the bill for CAT, but unless the U.S. SEC takes action in the coming weeks, brokers will begin racking up charges dating from Tuesday in bills sent by exchanges, which are fighting to recover a chunk of the costs long promised to them of the system. The CAT was devised following the 2010 flash crash when investigators struggled to pinpoint what caused a market plunge that at one point wiped out almost $1 trillion off the value of U.S. securities. It has been fully operational since 2022. That's my favorite part. So buying $100 million paintings during the pandemic, copies of the Constitution, or fucking dinosaurs for $50 million isn't a profound waste of money. But stopping Wall Street from cheating apparently is far too expensive. I would like someone to tell Kenny that if companies like Citadel would have followed the rules and laws, the CAT system wouldn't have been necessary. To close this episode, I wanted to point out a couple of statistics amidst all the discussion on employment data. Great replacement job shock. 1.3 million native-born Americans just lost their jobs, replaced by 635,000 immigrants. And since this last June, the U.S. has added just over 2 million part-time jobs and lost over 1.5 million full-time jobs. If you like these kind of statistics, you already know how to vote this November. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.